Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another one brand Primark first impression. I absolutely love Primark, or Primani as people call it, because you can always find something to pick up in there, and of course it's affordable as well. So I managed to find a couple of new sort of beauty tools slash accessories in there that look really interesting and also look like dupes for other products that I also have. So I wanted to share and test them out with you guys today. So first of all, we're going to start with an interesting brush that I saw. So this is one of those sort of, I don't know, I call them sort of baby brushes, with these unusual handles and sort of the really dense hairs. So there was 3 different types or sizes, I mean, of these brushes. This was actually the largest, so I decided to pick up the largest because if you have seen my Makeup Revolution first impression, I think it had a couple of Tanya Burr things in it as well. That I tested out this brush and I absolutely love this brush now. It took me a while to get used to it because obviously it's completely different to normal makeup brushes. So I thought I would give this one a go. Obviously it is a little bit smaller compared to the Makeup Revolution one, but I thought it would be good for the face again, as it's not too big, so you'd be able to probably get in places better. It doesn't have anything sort of instructions or anything on how to use. It literally just says it's from the PS Pro range, it's a blending brush and it gives you high definition results. So this was £4 and this was the most expensive brush. And then, like I said, there was a slightly smaller one I guess you could use for blusher, and then an even smaller one that you could use for contouring and I guess eyeshadow and things like that. So just lately in Primark, I've also seen a load of these makeup sponges. I don't know if you've been in there lately, but there's so many different ones in there, different colours, sizes, unusual shapes, and I have tried one of their big sponges out, the blue one that I featured in my Beauty Blender dupes, and this is a real great dupe for the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge if you want something that's super affordable. I think it's like £1 or £1.50. But what caught my eye was the smaller sponges, because in that video as well, the Beauty Blender dupes video, I also featured the small Real Techniques, I think they're called eraser sponges or mini eraser sponges, and I absolutely love these for blending out concealer and also baking and putting powder on, or just using it to sort of blend out any small areas on the face. And I used this damp, but I wanted to try and find something even more affordable. These are really good anyway, you get 2 in a pack and they're £6, but I thought I would give the Primark version a go. So these are the Primark version, and you actually get 3 in here for £2, and there's 2 sort of teardrop shaped sponges which are very similar to the Beauty Blender ones that they brought out a few years ago. I think one is a little bit softer than the other, so you can use them for different things, I guess. And then there's sort of like this rounded one as well, so I'm definitely going to be giving these a go, obviously. Then the other thing I found which really interested me, because you don't tend to see these a lot within the shops, are mascara spoolies. So these definitely caught my eye. So they're a 15 pack of mascara spoolies, and they're all different shapes and different bristles on them. So these were £1.50, and you can't really see actually because the light keeps shining on them, but I will have photo inserts so you can see them a bit closer up. But these look really interesting because I tend to find with mascara ones that the rubber ones do work best for me with regards to lengthening my lashes, and some of these have got sort of spikes on and things, and they actually, this black one actually reminds me of the Benefit, I've got it here, their real mascara wand. So I thought these would be a good idea to use with maybe a mascara that you, I don't know, is not working for you as well because of the brush and things like that. And I do test out a lot of mascaras, and one I tested out recently was the Rimmel Scandal Eyes, and I was sort of on the fence about it, and I did like the brush, but I think maybe sometimes if you use a different brush it may work out better. So I'm going to give one of these a go. Also at the bottom it says that one's for lengthening, one's for volumizing, one's for curl, and one's for definition. Then the last thing that I spotted was this makeup remover cloth, and of course this looks very, very similar to the original makeup eraser cloth that I already absolutely love, and I actually did a first impression on quite a while ago now, but I still really love these cloths. I have a few of them on the go that I alternate between when I'm in a rush to get my makeup off or I'm really tired. It's just a nice quick way of removing makeup. So I actually have the original makeup eraser cloth here. I have it in pink as well, but that's actually in the wash. So I want to compare this with regards to size, how it removes makeup, and also the texture of it, because this one has a sort of softer side and then the other side is still soft but it's more of an exfoliating side. And these are actually quite expensive. I want to say they're around £16, and this Primark one was only £1.50. So I'll be really interested to see if this does do the job as well. Right, so I've zoomed you in so you can see a little bit better, and first of all we're going to start off with this brush that I'm going to be using to apply foundation. So I am going to use the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation. I absolutely love this with this Makeup Revolution brush, so I thought it would be a good one to use with this similar brush as well. So first of all, with regards to texture, they do feel very similar. I'd say this one probably hasn't got as many bristles as this one. This one feels a little bit denser, but whether that's because this is bigger, I'm not sure. But it feels really nice and soft. Also the handle is a little bit more plasticky. You can tell that this is cheaper compared to this one, although this one is really affordable as well. So I'll put the link to the review of this down below. So let's get started with this. So I do find with these denser brushes that a full coverage foundation works best with this kind of application. So this is what this Clinique one is. It's going on pretty nicely, but initially I can feel that this is a cheaper brush. You can just tell by the texture of it on the face. It just doesn't feel quite as soft as the Makeup Revolution one, and also the more expensive ones as well. They probably feel even softer and nicer to work with. So this is a little bit harder to work with, but I do like the size of it because it does get around the face really nicely. So because all of these products are things that I can't test the longevity out on, I will be giving a score out of 5 right after I use them, and then I'll also be writing up a blog post all about them as well that I'll link down below. So my initial thoughts on this brush: it does give a nice finish to the foundation, and it is a really nice size to work with, but you can tell that this is a lot cheaper brush. It's a little bit rough on the skin, and you can kind of feel that it is a bit more sort of synthetic feeling when you rub it on the face, but it does blend out the foundation nicely. The only other thing is, because this is plastic, and it doesn't seem as durable as the Makeup Revolution one, it may sort of snap off if you're not careful, so just be a little bit gentle using it. I usually sort of hold it more on the base and then blend it in. But you know what, this is not bad for £4, and I would score this a 3.8 out of 5. Next up, I'm going to use the mini makeup sponges. So I am going to use one of these teardrop ones, and I'm going to use the orange one. This has already been dampened, so you can kind of see it just expands. Well, actually expands quite a lot, but compared to the Real Techniques one, this is damp as well. This one expands way more, and also feeling them both together, the Real Techniques one is a lot more softer and bouncier. So I am going to use my favourite concealer, the Maybelline Fit Me concealer that I love using with this Real Techniques sponge anyway. To me, these are the dream team. So let's try it out with this Primark one. So I'm just going to do under the eyes, and then I'll do a bit around the nose and a bit on the chin. So my initial thoughts on this sponge is, you can definitely tell it hasn't got as much bounce, and it doesn't feel as soft on the skin when you're blending in the concealer. But for overall finish, this gives a really nice finish to the concealer. It blends it out really nicely, and I do like the fact that it's got this pointy end, and it is a little bit smaller than the Real Techniques one, so you can get that a little bit closer to the under eye and also round the nose. But comparing these, because these were £2 for 3, I think if you're gonna buy one of these, I would say just go for the Real Techniques ones, because they're £6 for 2, so technically they're £3 each, and you only really need to use one at a time. And I like the fact that the Real Techniques one has this flat bit, so you can sort of clean up any mistakes, and just overall the texture and softness of it is just that little bit better. But this is pretty impressive, and I do like the finish it gave to my concealer. So I would award the mini sponges a 3.5 out of 5. Right, so I've just finished applying the rest of my face makeup. So lastly, I'm going to be applying my mascara and testing out the mascara spoolies, and then later on in the evening, when it's time to go to bed, I will show you and test out the makeup cloth as well. So out of this pack of spoolies, so there's 4 different ones like I mentioned, and I'm actually going to use this one with like the spikes on the end, because this does remind me a lot, like I said, of the Benefit their Real mascara brush, and that is one of my favourite high-end mascaras. So it is, I'd say, the bristles on the Primark one are a little bit longer compared to these, but we are going to be using it with the Rimmel Scandalise Reloaded Mascara to see if it makes any difference, because to be honest, I didn't see much difference in my lashes when I used it. So let's give it a go. Okay, so I've just zoomed you back out so I can briefly talk about the makeup cloth before I use it tonight. But first off, back to the mascara spoolie. This was such a great thing, and this actually really transformed this Rimmel mascara for me from an average mascara to a pretty good mascara. And it's amazing how just changing up the brush can completely change a mascara if you don't really like it. So with mascaras, when I do test them out, if I don't like them, I do like to use them up because I paid for it. Obviously I can't give it to anyone else because of hygiene reasons, so I do try and make the best of the mascara. And to be honest, mascaras don't last that long anyway, so I just use it up and then I go on to the next one. But if you have that problem where you bought a mascara and you don't like it, then definitely go and pick up a pack of these Mascara Wands if you're having trouble with the way it looks and things like that, because this particular wand really lengthened and separated my lashes perfectly, and it just looks so much better, this mascara. It's really nice and spidery. I will put a before and after photo, and I'll also see if I can find the before and after photo for when I first used the Rimmel mascara just with the brush that's already in there. So the only thing with this brush was, because it was that little bit longer, it kind of did get a little bit messy when I was applying it because the spikes are a little bit longer. So just make sure that you leave it to dry completely, and then you can just pick off the mascara that's all around your eyes just with a cotton bud. This also was a really nice one to work with because it had, I will touch it, I think it's dry now, a little bit of movement to it as well. The only thing is, obviously you can't put this wand and keep it in the mascara, so you could just wash this every time you use this brush with a bit of soap and water, let it dry, and then you're good to go again. You could also use these as brow brushes as well. They're a nice spoolie just to brush out your brows. So they're kind of a multitasker, and for $1.50 I think these are pretty good. So I would award these mascara spoolies a 4.2 out of 5. Okay, lastly, obviously I have talked about the makeup cloth, but I'm just going to open it up before it gets dirty, just so I can show you what it looks like compared to the makeup eraser one. So initially this is actually really nice and soft. So whether it will stay like that, I don't know, through many washes and things like that. It's a nice size, I think. Oh, it's slightly smaller than the makeup eraser cloth, but it's still a really nice size, so I guess you could get quite a lot of uses out of this. Both sides, this side actually does look like it is an exfoliating side because it does look very similar to the exfoliating side on the makeup eraser. And then obviously you've got this side, which is just a normal one. So hopefully this will work good. We'll see later how good it takes my makeup off. I may actually do sort of one side with this and one side with that, just so you can kind of see. Okay, so I've just dampened both makeup cloths, and this is the original makeup eraser and this is the Primark one. So I'm going to use the Primark one on this side and the makeup eraser one on this side. So let's start off with the Primark one. First impressions, I'm actually really impressed by this, considering this was $1.50. This has got rid of all of my makeup on this side, including my mascara and my brow products, which is usually the hardest to take off. So I initially used the softer side, and then I went in with the exfoliating side all around the eye, which is what I usually do with the makeup eraser, because it just helps, because it's a bit rougher, to get rid of it a bit better. So I'm just going to use this one to compare, and then I will give you a score out of 5. So overall, comparing these, I would say the makeup eraser removes makeup that little bit quicker, and you maybe don't have to rub as hard as you do with the Primark one. But to be honest, I don't see that much of a difference. And for £1.50, I would say try this one out. This is definitely pretty amazing. I'll see how this goes with regards to washing it, and I'll keep you updated on that, maybe on my blog or in a future video. But for now, I score the Primark makeup cloth a 4.5 out of 5. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and if you missed my last video, you can go ahead and click on the picture link, and that will take you to that video. I'll also have a link to my blog if it works, because everything's changed with the end card, but you can click on that as well. Have a wonderful start to the weekend, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care. Bye.